Shalom, everyone. I'm going to be sharing briefly some information on, if you look to the left here, this is an article, I won't even say article, extensive research on what is called here Afro-Asiatic Dominion. And again, this is by Alice Lindsay. The images is by this guy up here, Dr. Clyde A. Winters, but the actual research is from Alice C. Lindsley, and she is a a biblical anthropology, and she brings lots of evidence. But anyway, you see the evidence and all that she brings here. I just want to go over a little of this because I thought it was interesting. And you look when you look online, you excuse me, let's turn this music down. When you look online and use Google search or search for Nimrod, Abraham, all the biblical characters in the Bible, they always come up white, either white or what they call Middle Eastern. But anyways, I digress. I'm going to start off with the article. There's another article right next to it, but I just want to kind of like compare these two regarding Abraham, not Nimrod, and Nimrod, and also compare Nimrod and what is his name? Sargon. Anyways, I won't go to that one yet. I'm going to go ahead and look at this one here where it starts. The archive, the archive genetics. Oh my goodness, has shown conclusively that a vast dispersion of Proto-Saharan people dominated the archive world. The range extended from Benue through in Lake Chad to the Nile Valley. Now, Lake Chad, I had a map. I don't want to go put up the map because I don't mess everything up. But right below on the ancient map of Lake Chad, right below that, you see Lake Congo. So we know Lake Chad was on the continent of Africa. It is on because it's to the Nile River, the Nile Valley. It says Lake Chad to the Nile Valley, the Indus Valley, the southern Europe during the African Aqualitic period, a very moist period, a very rainy season. Lots of water flowing. But I want to go to this link. But there's a link to the introduction to this title here, and it gives you information in detail what it consists of and the period. It says, I have termed this the Afro-Asiatic Dominion because the languages spoken by these people would be classified in the Afro-Asiatic language family. The term dominion is appropriate because these territories were ruled by kingdoms of builders who shared a common religious tradition and common ancestor. They also had a common concept to divine appointment of rulers by the emblem of the Creator God. And then it goes on to say, these are the earliest rulers on earth. They are called the mighty men of old in Genesis and are described as heroes and men of renown. So I'm going to go show you this. I'm going to read the scripture she's quoting. That's found in Genesis 6:4, reads as follows. The Nephilim were in the earth in those days, and also after that, when the sons of God came into the daughters of men, and they bore children to them. The same were the mighty men that were of old, the men of renown. So she's saying that the men in Genesis 6:4, they were Afro-Asiatic Negroes from Lake Chad and Nile Valley and so forth. So she quoted this. Um, yeah, right. They describe the heroes. Da, da. They also had a concept of greater God. It says these are the earliest rulers on earth. They are called the mighty men of old, which is found in Genesis 6:4. Goes on down here where it says the Afro-Asiatic dominion is older than the Vedic age 1700 to 1800 BC, and much more older than the exile age. These people maintained settlement at shelters, high places, Tamona or Kar, near water sources. It says these settlements became the sun city of the ancient world. At the center of these rural cities were the temple, the place housing for priests, and quarters for the royal guard. The temple typically was aligned to the solar arc, with the doors opening to the rising sun. They were called opera, which means sun house, and the royal priests who served at these temples were called Apuru, Haparu, or Haburu, or the English word Hebrew. So they're saying they were Hebrews. But these are the ancient names. Now I may be gutting some of these names right here. I'm not the smartest person when it comes down to some of these weird looking words I've never seen before. But bear with me. So Apuru, Hapuru, or Haparu or Haburu, Hapuru, Apuru, Apha-puru, or Habaru. The English word is a variant of Habaru. And it goes on to say here, Abraham is called Hebrew or Habaru. Habaru here, English word Hebrew is a variant of his name. So back in the ancient time, that's the name. This is how the name was pronounced in Hebrew. At least that's what I'm getting from her. In Genesis 14:13, the papyrus speaks of Apuru of Re'at Hippopus Helipius, the shrine of the sun. Plato, who studied under Horus, priest at the Memphis for 13 years, wrote, "Tell me of God of On, a God of On, which was, is, and shall be." Okay, so I want to go through all of this. It says that Abraham's call. Okay, then it goes on to say, um, I think I'm going to go down to, I'm going to go ahead. It says the biblical data indicates that many people and clans comprised the Afro-Asiatic dominion. Among them were Sumerians, Nubians, and other Nilotic Sudra, Anu, Canaanites, and people of Mesopotamia in the Indus River Valley. It says linguistic and archaeological evidence suggests that the religion of the ancient Darwinian priests reflect the Proto-Saharan belief and practices. Then it goes on to say here, it's really much telling us that that the whole people, the ancient people of the ancient time, the ancient Hebrew people, were they were compared to Hamitic. Well, I shouldn't say Hamitic. Well, Hamitic and Shemitic still can be Hamitic and Shemitic still can be um, descendants from how can I put it? Hamitic is Ham, Shemitic is Shem. But it sounds like they're saying that Abraham comes from Kush, and that's what I'm getting ready to. Because I'm gonna do a lot. We've been lied to so much and been told so many different stories. So I'm doing a whole lot of researching lately, and it's kind of like you have to reprogram your mind with some of this stuff because you have some black people just have a disdain when you say, well, "I'm not a Hamite." Well, look like Abraham probably has some Hamitic in him because I'm gonna go on and read this. It says Abraham is a descendant of the Kushite kingdom, builder Nimrod. So I'm gonna go over here And this is a little writing from another source, and it's the identity of Nimrod. And it goes on and says the Old Testament mentioned Nimrod 4 times, calling him a mighty one of the earth. Genesis 10:8, 1 Chronicles, and so forth, a mighty hunter before the Lord, and the founder of the Assyrian Empire. But who was he? It's going to say, check this out, because this is going to agree with what she said. It says the ancient Jewish writers Philo of Alexandria and Flavius Josephus suggest Nimrod was a giant who opposed God, Nephilim possibly, and because remember the scripture says Genesis 6:4 reads as follows: the Nephilims were in the earth in those days, and also after that, when the sons of God came into the daughters of men, and they bore children to them. The same were the mighty men that were of old, the men of renown, called them Nephilims. So there's a possibility, sound like Nimrod could have been a Nephilim from the lineage of Noah, Kush. Anyway, it goes on to say Nimrod was a giant who opposed God and the tyrant behind the construction of the Tower of Babel, respectively. Genesis 10:12. 10:12, it says, and the beginning of his kingdom was Babel, Erech, Akkad, and Calneh in the land of Shinar. From that land he went to Assyria and built Nineveh, Rehoboth, Caleb, and Rezan between the Nineveh and Caleb. This is the principal city. So these are the cities that Nimrod built. As this includes with it says this Genesis 10:12 includes with Nimrod kingdom, the Sumerian city of Babel, and Uruk or Erech, Iraq. I wonder if it could be Iraq, possibly the city of Akkad, in the land of Shinar, southern Mesopotamia, Babylonian, and the Assyrian city of Nineveh. Now you know what? This might be Iraq. This might be Iraq, because you know Iraq is Mesopotamia in the ancient time. I don't know if that was the name, but evidently it sounds like it could be Iraq. It says the Assyrian cities of Nineveh, Rezan, and Calah, just mention the same names here, had overcome the remains of some of these cities, which have helped them identify Nimrod. It goes on to say that Nimrod built his extensive empire from the south to the north, indicating the third millennium BC setting, 3000 to 200 BC. Therefore, he must have ruled in this region during the period of the Egyptologist Douglas Petrovich argues that Sargon the Great, who built the first city of Sumer and Akkad, best fit the historical data for the five reasons. But anyways, I want to say, this is what I want to get to here. It says, first, both Nimrod and Sargon came from the same region. Nimrod origin in Kush matches Sargon origin in Sumerian Kish. Both people and territories were named after Kush, Noah's grandson. The Sumerian king lists named Kush as the first city on the which kinship was lowered from heaven after the flood, and says it became the leading city of Sumer. Facts later confirmed archaeological excavations. So, anyways, I just want to match this article to her findings as well. So they're saying the same thing, that Abraham was Kushite, Nimrod, and also Sargon. They're all from Noah, Ham. They're a descendant of Ham, as well as sound like Abraham too. So let's go back and read down here where it says Abraham here. It says, Abraham is the descendant of the Kushite kingdom, builder Nimrod. In the Bible, the term Kushite refers to Nilotic and Proto-Saharan people, and in particular to the ruler priest, descendant of Noah by his grandson Kush. Genesis 6:10, 6:11. It says Kush was the father of Nimrod. Kush was the father of Nimrod, who established his kingdom in Euphrates Valley and established the city of Akkad and established city of Akkad. And then it goes on to saying this explains, and this link here, I'm not going to tap on it. Let's open up a whole different link, and it's a lot of stuff. The Akkadian script of Nimrod kingdom is linguistically Afro-Sumerian, and Sanskrit is closely related. They were Afro-Asiatic people. Check this out about the Elamites. It says the Vaclav Blazek believes that the Elamites is an Afro-Asiatic language, and David McAlpin finds a genetic relation between the Elamites and the Dravanians languages. Both are language of the ancient Afro-Asiatic dominion, which extended from the Nile to the Indus River Valley and into ancient Anatolia and Bactria. It says the Greek writing Homer alluded to the vastness, diversity, and unity of the Kushite Empire when he wrote a race divided, whom the sloping rays, the rising and the setting sun surveys. Before Homer's time, 8th century BC, there was but one vast dominion that stretched from West Africa to India, and it was dominated by rulers and priests who were ethnically Kushites. Excuse me, Titan. So this is just basically saying you all that the ancient Hebrews were and still are dark skinned, what they call African people. A lot of people don't like to say that. I don't care, call me an African. If you say that you believe that Israel is Northeast Africa, then that makes me a Shemitic African. We have to understand that but Noah had 3 sons and they were brothers, Shem, Ham, and Japheth. Oh my goodness. But anyway, I'm still learning. I thought I knew what I knew, but this is a whole different level right here. But I'm doing, like I said, I'm still looking into it and researching. But it's very interesting. Very interesting. I'm going to read this one again. It says, I'm going to go back here. I'm going to read this again. The Vacla Blazek believes that Elamites is an Afro-Asiatic language, and David McAfee finds a genetic relation between the Elamites and Dravidian languages. Both are languages of the ancient Afro-Asiatic dominion which extended from the Nile River to the Indus River Valley and into the ancient Anatolia. Yeah, I'm pronouncing that right. Like I said, y'all be good in these words. Or Anatolia. And the Bactria. The Greek writer Homer alludes to the vastness, the diversity, and unity of the Kushite Empire when he wrote a race, put it right here, a race divided, whom the sloping rays, the rising and the setting sun surveys. Before Homer time, 8th century BC, there was but one vast dominion that stretched from West Africa to India, and it was dominated by rulers and priests who were ethnically Kushites. I'm going to go down here, right here. It says here, I'm almost finished. Because I wasn't going to be on here long. I just wanted to share this article. And again, you all can go look her up and look at all the articles, because she has like a page and has all these different titles and subjects. And then what she does is, while you're reading one title, she'll give you links to the very names of something that she's specifically talking about. I'm trying to explain what it means. Like a word or something, for instance, like this, there's a link to this. Every word in red with the underline is a link to it. And I'm not going to try to do all of that. That's a lot of stuff. Anyways, it says the Proto-Saharan nobles were buried with red orchid at Nekhen. The Sudan, 35,000 BC. It said the Nekhen was a Horite shrine city dedicated to Horus, whose totem was the falcon or hawk. Early dynastic dynastic Egypt adopted the Horrid religion and never practiced cremation, as in the religion that seeks to escape physical existence. Abraham's ancestors believed in the resurrection of the body and awaits a defied king, deified king who would rise from the grave. And I give you a link to that, and deliver his people from the death, from death. Um, then it goes on to say that I want to read that. So I'm going to jump down to. If you go to the link, you can read that. I'm going to jump down to this part where it says, there is evidence that the Horrid priests dispersed throughout the ancient world. The world, the word Sarki designates a priestly ruler from Africa to Nepal. In ancient Egypt, Sarki Harwa referred to order of priests, and Hasu Sarki meaning king. The Horites were a case of ruler priests who spread their religion belief far and wide. Um, then it goes and said they were Haparu. Talking about these priests here. These priests here. We talked about these priests here. The evidence that the Horus priests. It said they were called Haparu or Hebrew or Hebrew. The Egyptian called them temple attendants. It says PRW, the W being the plural suffix. This has been rendered whopper by the Afro-Asiatic expert Christopher Heekrick. The waper, the wape, the wape, raper, rapper, as a rapper, raper exercised significant authority alongside the high priest, the whopper. They presided over the rituals directed towards the high God and act as intercessors and prophets. The Hebrew were devotees of Horus, who worship originated in what is today Sudan. Now I don't know if they did a little mixing with some like false gods or something, but they had the concept that they knew there was a God, and they knew there was only one God, superior being one God. So do I want to go on? I don't want to read all of this. I think something else I want to show. Excuse me. So I'm gonna skip all this at the top and just talking about the priesthood and there. Oh, let me go ahead and read this right here. Um, I'm gonna go ahead and read this. The Dravadians' east-facing temple was termed Aparu, meaning sun house or house of the sun. The sun was the emblem of the creator God. The Arabic Yaburu means he is getting big and with the intensive act. Yakaburu means he is enlarging, like this is a reference to the morning rituals of the Harite priest who greets the rising sun and watch as it expanded across the horizon. It says many Dravanian settlements and monuments are now submerged underwater, but originally they were on a land bridge between the Arabian Peninsula and southern Pakistan. This is somewhere referred to as the Harp Apa civilization. Har refers to Horus, and Apa is a Dravanian word meaning father. The origin of the Dravanian religion was apparently Egypt and ancient Kush. The Indian historian and anthropologist, this person's name here, it's a long, weird name, has written, we have to begin with the Nigrod or Negrito people of the prehistoric Indians who were the first human inhabitants. Originally, they would appear to have come from Africa through Arabia and the coastlands of the Iran and Baluchistan. According to the Matsa, an ancient book from India, the word belongs to the Kushite Saka for 7,000 years. We know that Africa goes back thousands and thousands of years. That we know that's an old continent, very deep. So here's the last of it. It says, in the ancient Afro-Asiatic world, a temple was considered the mansion, Hate, or the house, Peru of the deity. The Horus, and the Haparu maintained temples and shrines throughout the ancient Afro-Asiatic dominion. Carol A. Redmond has noted that the Haparu influence was felt from the Tigris-Euphrates River basin over to the Mediterranean littoral and down through the Nile Valley during the second millennium. The principal area of the prehistorical interest is in their engagement with Egypt. And let's go on to give her, her, I guess, her background and her specialty. Carol Bitter and Lives is renowned. Anyway, so I just thought I would share that. Go check out this article. And again, her name is Lizzie Alice C. Lindsay. And all you have to do, in fact, just if you want to find all her articles, just type in Alice C. Lindsay and say Genesis, just Genesis, and it'll bring her up. Because she has an article, if you look down here, index of topic at just Genesis, who were the Kushites. And this is the art this here, who is the Kushite? This is what I meant right here. Then also give you what color was Abraham. There's another article, research she done. Let me just go back and let me see what this looked like. Yeah, who were the Kushite? That's where I was. And it goes on as that the Kushites are the Nilo-Saharan people who contribute their binary worldview, the ancient Afro-Asiatic world. It says they include red, black, and brown Nubians, pre-dynastic, I just say dynastic, Lord Nilox, and the Anu among them were Abraham, Harar's ancestor who descended from Kush, the grandson of the great Proto-Saharan ruler Noah. The Horites were a case of ruler priests who were devotees of Hor or Horus. Jews called their ancestor Horim, which is the Horites in the English Bible. Some Jews have Horite blood and some Arabs have Horite blood. But you know what? That word Jew, just take that out. Just say Hebrews. Because there wasn't no Jews back then. It's just this, ooh, you call a people Afro-Asiatic, then you turn and call them Jews. They were not Jews. They were Hebrew Israelites. They're Hebrews. Stop it. It says Abraham is a descendant of the Proto-Saharan ruler Ham, and Shem as a line of Ham and Shem. Intermarried. Endogamy is a trait of case and ruling family. Abraham ruled in Edom through his father ruled in the Tigris-Euphrates Valley. Y'all, this is some good stuff. Go check out her articles. I want to click on this because I didn't even go to this part. I just went straight to who are the Kushites. But let me now this is what I went to. I went to ancient Afro-Asiatic world. It took me to the article I just did. But I just want to look at this. Abraham is the descendant of the Proto-Saharan rulers Ham and Shem as the line of Ham and Shem. Let's just see what that says. Okay, so give it gives a let me see if I can for I don't make it no better. But maybe split it again. I'm not leave it as is. Okay, so it says the line of Ham and Shem intermarried. Of course they did. We know that. So